Rain still smelled the same at the old station, metallic and heavy with memory. Lara stood beneath the faded timetable, her hands trembling around a letter she never posted. It had his name, Ayaan, scrawled across the front. The man who took the train that never came back. Every dusk she returned here, waiting for a sound she'd memorized, the whistle that once promised forever. But today there was something different. The station master, an old man with kind eyes, handed her a box left in the lost and found. Inside were dozens of letters, written by Ayaan, all addressed to her, none delivered. The first letter began with, "If you're reading this, it means I never made it to you, but I never stopped trying." Each letter was a journey, written from towns he'd passed, dreams he'd had and regrets he carried. He wrote about her smile, about how silence could still sound like love. The ink faded over time, but the emotion didn't. Every word felt like a heartbeat echoing through the years. Lara couldn't sleep that night. She dreamt of trains, of doors opening to nowhere, of Ayaan waving from the other side of the platform, a place between time and memory. She woke at dawn and returned to the station. The same train, the 717, roared past, wind brushing her face. But for the first time in years, she smiled. Love hadn't vanished. It had only changed tracks. Weeks later, the old station was to be demolished. Lara came one last time, the letters clutched to her chest. She placed them in the very seat where Ayaan once sat. As she turned to leave, a folded paper fluttered from beneath the bench. One final note. "If ever the train goes the other way, follow it. You'll find me where time stands still." The whistle blew, and for the first time she stepped on board. Epilogue, a love beyond arrival. No one knows where the train went that morning. Some say it vanished into fog. Others say they saw two figures sitting together, smiling quietly, as if time had finally caught up with their hearts. Because some loves don't end. They just wait for the next train. When Lara stepped onto the train, the world outside blurred into a silver mist. The seats were empty, the lights dim, and yet the air pulsed with familiarity. She walked down the aisle, her footsteps echoing softly. At the far end, near window seat 17A, a man was sitting face turned toward the rain. Her breath caught. It was Ayaan. He turned slowly, his eyes exactly as she remembered, kind, weary, endless. "You finally made it," he whispered. "I thought I was too late." Lara wanted to speak, but her voice trembled. "Where are we going?" He smiled faintly. "Where we were always meant to go." The train passed through landscapes that shimmered like dreams' fields of light, skies that shifted from dusk to dawn in moments. Time here didn't flow, it folded. Ayaan explained softly. Every missed moment, every unsent letter, every almost this train carries them all. It runs between the living and the remembering. She looked out the window, towns without names, tracks that glowed faintly beneath the moon. "Are we alive?" she asked. He took her hand. It was warm, real. "Does it matter?" he said. "We are together." After what felt like both minutes and lifetimes, the train began to slow. Outside, a golden station emerged, wrapped in quiet fog. A sign read, "Last stop before tomorrow." Lara felt her heart ache a strange, beautiful pain. An attendant approached. "You can stay," she said gently, "or you can go back. The choice is yours, but love once found changes everything." Lara looked at Ayaan. He nodded softly. "If you return, I'll be with you in every sunrise. If you stay, we'll never part again." The whistle blew one final time. When Lara opened her eyes, she was back at the old station, dawn spreading gold across the empty tracks. The box of letters was gone, but in her hand was a ticket, worn and glowing faintly with Ayyaan's name. Every day after that, she wrote one more letter, not to send, but to remember. Because some trains don't take you away, they bring you back to yourself. And somewhere beyond the horizon, a whistle still echoed, the sound of a love that finally arrived. Lara often returned to the station at dawn. The world called her strange, the woman who waited for a vanished train. But she knew better. Every morning when the first light touched the rails, she heard it, the faint hum of the tracks whispering Ayyaan's name. She had learned to live again, to laugh softly, to breathe without breaking. Yet a part of her always remained between seconds, where love still waited. One evening, while sorting through the attic of her small countryside home, Lara found an old leather journal. On the first page was a familiar scroll, for the one who found her way back. It was Armin's journal, the one he'd written during the years they were apart. Each page revealed not just longing but something deeper, that the train was not just real, but a bridge between two lives intertwined by destiny. Every soul who boards that train, he wrote, is searching for what was lost, not in time, but in truth. Lara returned to the station one last time, guided by a feeling she couldn't name. To her surprise, the old station master was there again. But this time his eyes held a quiet knowing. He said softly, "The train doesn't come for everyone. Lara, it comes for those who kept loving, even after goodbye." As the wind rose, she saw it, faint, silver, ghostly, the train. She stepped forward, but something stopped her. Inside, sitting by the window, was Armin. He smiled, not sad this time, but peaceful. And with his hand on the glass, he mouthed, "Not yet. Live first." The train vanished into light. Years passed. Lara grew old, but never bitter. She often said love was not about staying. It was about returning. One quiet morning, as the sun spilled over the horizon, a familiar whistle echoed. She smiled, closed her eyes, and whispered, "I'm ready." When the townsfolk found her, she was sitting peacefully on the station bench, a letter in her hand. It read, "The train always goes the other way, but love always finds its way home." And somewhere beyond the sunrise, two figures sat together again, the train gliding toward forever, where no one arrives late and no one leaves alone.